The Pam Goodwin Show is a show that features the biggest names in television, successful entrepreneurs, future new talents, and local heroes. Our next guest is a powerhouse. She's a connector in the truest sense of the word. She climbed the ranks in corporate America with a Limited and FedEx and left that to spread her entrepreneurial wings. She has started her own HR consulting company, has helped launch multiple musician artists' careers, and is currently managing emerging global artist Erin Kinsey. I am thrilled to have my good friend Amy Fish on the Pam Goodwin Show today. Welcome, Amy.
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here. Great to see you, Pam.
Thanks. I have to ask you, everybody probably asks you, but how did you go from corporate America to now being a manager for country singers in Nashville?
It's quite a story. I was in Dallas working for FedEx office for the district manager position for years, and for 27 years working for corporate America. And I was out with my girlfriends one night just for dinner, and they asked me if I would go over to a place called Sambuca. I'm sure you're familiar with it. 8:00 at night. I said, we'll just go in and hear this band quickly. So we walked into Sambuca, and the place was so crowded, and I looked up on the stage and I saw this artist. He was this young man and his band, and the place was going crazy. And I looked at my friend and I said, I have never heard of him. I've been in Dallas forever. This place is going crazy. And they said, well, he just came off Nashville Star the same season as Miranda Lambert, and he got in the top 10, and he didn't win, but he came back to Dallas to start this cover band. And Pam, I'm telling you, I looked around and I thought, okay, huge demand for this guy. All ages are going crazy. And I looked up there, and all I could think about is what I would change and what I would do to make him even better. So I approached him and I started talking to him, and he thought I was absolutely crazy. He's like, so what do you do? And I said, I'm a district manager for FedEx office. And he said, great, nice to meet you. And I will get your number and circle back with you. Well, he didn't call. So 2 weeks later, I went back up there, had a conversation with him. I said, I know you think this sounds crazy, but I really think I can help you. He said, I've got nothing else. Let's have lunch tomorrow. So we met for lunch, and I started sharing him my vision of what I think he could do with the band. I've never been in music. I'm just marketing, right? And he said, let's do this. So over the next couple of weeks, I met with the band. I redid their set list. I re-imaged them. I got them a photo shoot. I got them a website builder. I mean, just over 2 weeks' time, just started building this package. And his name is Jamie Garner. As we started building the package and getting the buzz out there, I started booking him around town. And that just blew up. And before you knew it, Nashville was calling. Now, keep in mind, I still had my corporate job. So I'm working from 7 a.m. to 7 or 8 at night, and then going to shows in the evening and traveling with him on the weekends. And there was something magnetic about that scene. I just loved creating. And over the next 10 months, as he just got bigger and bigger, they were booking him over in Europe. I got a phone call from Universal label, and they wanted to meet with us in Nashville. And I just looked at him and I said, Jamie, you're not going to believe this, but I got a call from Universal. And he was like, what? And I said, they want to meet with us in Nashville. So we had dinner. I hope he's okay if I say this, with Miranda's father, Rick Lambert. And Rick was just saying, you know what, Jamie, Amy totally believes in you. And this is super exciting, but you're almost 40. So it's probably not going to happen. And Amy, I hope you're not wasting your time. He's super talented, but you're trying to hold down a job and get this guy launched. And I said, Rick, I'm not wrong. Like, this guy has what it takes. We got on a plane to Nashville, and in that 2-day period, they offered him a contract to be part of a group called High South over in Europe. And within 3 weeks, he was in Europe playing to 50,000 plus crowds. So that got me hooked. So I decided that next month that I was going to start my own artist management company. I had some money saved up. And I made the decision to walk into corporate at the Galleria in Dallas and went up to the top floor to our executives and told them I was giving my notice. And they thought I was joking. I said, I'm not joking. This is something I really want to go do. Now, it was a nice paying job, benefits. had been doing this my whole life, and I just felt like it was time to jump. I call it the jump. Steve Harvey says it best. If you ever want to live your dreams, you got to take the risk and take the jump. And that's what I did.
So I know I took the corporate, leap too. And it's hard to give up all those benefits and health insurance. And so many people don't do that to take the jump. But how did it finally feel to take that jump when you walked into that office? What would you tell other people? Because so many people get stuck in that corporate position thinking that they need those benefits, and then they miss out on what their true calling is.
I think it's, fear will take over people, but regret is bigger to me than fear. And I don't live in fear. I live by faith. But I never wanted to have any type of regret in my life at all. So I didn't know what laid ahead. I had no idea. Now everyone comes up to me and they're like, "We love your life. You have so much fun. You're always going to shows and you get to do the coolest things." But what they don't see is over a 10-year period, because I've been doing this since 2010, that I hit 3 valleys. I had to go back to work twice, doing different trades just to pay my bills. The friends that were with you at the beginning of the exciting phase were no longer around. A lot of quiet times, reflection, but I just got up every day and I said, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to figure this out. And that's what I've done. And so now I'm working with this incredible young lady. I've been with her for over 5.5 years. Her name is Erin Kinsey, and she's the one that managers dream of. So she's actually the 4th one that I've worked with. There's funny stories, crazy stories with the ones I worked with prior, but she's the one that, me sticking through this has paid off because she's it. So it's really exciting.
So, I had the opportunity to meet Erin, as you know, and I can see why with her smile, she has something special. But how did you two actually meet?
So I was working with Duran, who was her guitar player at the time. He's also a producer out of Chattanooga. The artist I was working with prior to Erin needed a producer, and someone connected me to Duran. So I met him and we just really got along. And he said, "Listen, I want you to meet this girl." Now, Erin was only 11 years old when he knew her. And he said, "I'm going to bring her to the studio that you work at." So I said, "Okay, great, bring her in." So Erin and her father, Don, came to the studio, and I saw this girl walking in with this little dress and these cowboy boots, just full of personality with that guitar in her hand, and jumped up on the bar stool. And she said, "Hi, my name's Erin. You want to hear a song?" And I said, "Sure." And she just started playing this guitar, and I'm like, really playing the guitar at 11. Come to find out, she had been taking guitar lessons, vocal lessons, learning every instrument since the age of like 10 and a half and 11. So I could tell she was extremely special at the time. She was under contract with a artist development company out of Dallas. So I looked at Duran and I said, "When she's out of contract, you let me know." So at the age of 15, Duran put a band together for her. And they had a show at Love and War. Pam, you're familiar with that Love and War venue in Plano. So I drove in from East Texas, saw her perform, met the family, was just in awe of this little girl up there playing banjo, switching to electric at 15, right? Full-blown band. Left that show, went to the next show, which was a month later, and that's when I knew. I said, okay, same feeling I had with Jamie. I said, this is the girl I'm supposed to work with. So talked with her dad. We had a meeting the next day, and I said, I can't explain it, but I'm telling you that your girl is going to be a global artist. And he said, wow, okay. And her mom was in there, and she goes, really? And I said, I'm not blowing smoke. I'm telling you, this girl will be a global artist. I'm not wrong. So that's been our joke over all these years, and I'm not wrong. So 2 weeks later, I sent her music to my contacts over in Europe, and they sent it to Millie Olikin, who runs the C2C festival at the O2 Arena. They picked Erin out of 400 indie artists to go and perform at the O2 Arena. So we were on a plane to London with the whole band, and her parents are just looking at me. I'm like, here we go. This is what her life is going to feel like, and all these wonderful experiences. And Pam, you know the story. I mean, that's how it's all been since the past 5.5 years. She's extremely talented, but it's really her personality and who she is. And she understands hard work and tenacity. She has played shows now for 5 years in places where there was one show where nobody was there. It was an East Texas State Fair and nobody was standing there. It was so sad. So she's done all those things, and at a very young age has experienced quite a bit. So it's exciting.
I'm sure most people would probably feel like giving up after going and no one showing up and saying, giving it up, but she has the persistence to make it. I know just, with our connection and in Nashville and seeing and meeting some of these new young artists and seeing what TikTok and, other things can do. But what do you think really separates? You always wonder, how does this person make it? And this one doesn't, with thousands, as you said, she made it out of 400. And now for Erin, for you to be her manager, and she has a top agent, how does someone, but I want to know, as far as a manager, a manager versus an agent, how do you get a manager if you're an up and coming singer?
Well, it definitely takes teamwork, but without the team, the artists themselves, they have to want it so bad. As Erin says, the famous saying, there's no plan B. She wants it that bad that she graduated a year early from school. She wants it so bad that we were on, flying back and forth to Nashville. She was flying back and forth with her family at age 12 for lessons and vocal training. With me, she's on the plane, as we're heading to Nashville for her writing session. She's doing her homework at 11 o'clock on the plane. She's turning down prom. So it's a lot of sacrifice, right? You can't have it all. You got to be able to be laser focused on what you want to do. And there are many hardworking artists, so I don't want to take away from that, but I don't think they understand the consistency and the sacrifice that it takes. When it's quiet, you got to be able to push through those times, because I see a lot of artists move through the exciting beginning of their career, and then they hit that pocket of quiet, the state fair, or when the phone isn't ringing, or no one knows who you are. You post things on social media, it does nothing. That rejection, that quiet, sends a lot of artists off track, and they start slowing down. So I always tell Erin, keep your blinders on, just stay focused to what you're called to do. And so the hard work, having that vision, it is a business, right? The team around her, we create a plan and guidance for her, but it's actually up to her to be able to get out there, do those performances, engage with her audience. To answer your question, there is no magical answer because everyone would be doing it. So I'm just looking back on the past 5.5 years and comparing her to people that I've worked with. It's the hard work, the ability to push through, surrounding yourself with the right people. That's another difficult decision, because you'll have people circling around you at this next level where we're at. That's what's happening. And they promise the sun, the moon, the stars, and for this amount of money, we'll get you here. Having discernment and having the right people to help guide you is extremely crucial as you're building your career. And then just understanding the newest and latest technology. TikTok has been a blessing to her. At first, she was like, I'm not really sure. I don't want to be a TikTok star, but I know that that's where everybody's going. So I'm going to be really smart and use that as a launching marketing tool. And that's what she's done. So to be able to have her song blow up on TikTok, but yet not be known as a TikTok star has been, she's done it. And so the way she's done that is prepare her own lane, where when people find out about her, they're like, oh, it's just not one song. Oh, she has a band. She's been playing since she was 11. She plays 7 instruments. She's written over 500 songs. So you have to have the story and the breadth and all those topics covered so that you just don't end up being, what they call it, a one-hit wonder, if you will. So you have to work on all the pieces of your craft, if you will.
Wow, 500 songs.
Oh, there's so many. We have Schedule A, Schedule B's, and she's like, oh, don't play some of those old ones. She's got some great songs that we are now revisiting that she wrote when she was 15, 16 about, mean girls to boyfriend breakups and all those kind of things that we're going to revisit and probably end up pitching because they're so relatable and so great.
Talking about songs, we know our favorite song, and my favorite song that she co-wrote this, and that's actually how we met, as she was one of the songwriters for the song Pink about breast cancer, which we are both warriors on that.
Woo!
That's right. And
That's right.
would love to, find out how that, song came about. It was, if you could tell the story of why she wrote that
Sure.
song, and then how, you were able to get the 5 top artists to sing it.
It is one of those stories that for the rest of my life, that is the most meaningful thing that's happened to both of us. Of course, she wants a career and she wants to go on the road and perform, but she wants her music to have purpose. And here's a prime example. This song, Pink, is a song about those struggling with breast cancer or on the backside of it, or have known someone in their family or on their friend's side that has experienced breast cancer. And so how it happened was I was diagnosed, I'm almost at 5 years actually. And I made the decision, and I do not recommend this decision, but I decided to go through it alone, except for my family that knew about it. And I was in radiation phase, and I was on week 6, I believe. And you get to a point where you can't hide it anymore, because I started having fever. My skin was burned. You could see it on my neck and on my arm and my chest. And so we were pulling up to Victoria Shaw's house, who's a good friend of mine, hit songwriter, and Erin had a writing session that day. So as we pull up, I was dropping her off, and she looked at me and she said, "Are you okay? You are not your bubbly, normally self today. Is there something wrong?" And I'm like, what a sweet girl. And at first I didn't say anything. "Erin, I'm fine. Go in. Have fun today. I'll see you in a couple hours." And she said, "Okay, I've known you for a long time. Something's wrong." So I decided to share it with her. And she just sat in the car and looked at me and she said, "Wait, what? I don't understand." And so I showed her, and she was just, obviously it was a very, very emotional moment. And I said, "Look, everything's going to be fine. You just go in and do your right." So she walked in, and Victoria was like, "Oh, hey, Erin, come on in. Jody and I are here." And she could tell immediately that something was wrong. And they had the discussion. Well, then Victoria is a good friend of mine. She got upset. And after a few minutes, they went back into her writing room, and she said, "You know what, guys, I've had this hook in my book from a Susan G. Komen commercial that says, when I can look at the color pink and it's just another color." She's like, "I thought that was so powerful." She goes, "Let's write the song today. We're all full of emotion. This is the only thing that's on my heart and my brain. Let's write a song." So for the next 3.5 hours, they wrote the song Pink. They called me back. I had no idea what was going on. They called me back in the room, and they said, we want to play something for you. And then we want to get your reaction and your thoughts. Well, I can't put into words that moment for me. And when they started performing it, I just broke down. And they finished the song, and they said, "Oh no, we didn't want to upset you. This is supposed to," and I said, No, I'm not upset. This is the most inspiring song I have ever heard. This is going to be like Martina McBride's "I'm Going to Love You Through It" times 100. This will bring so much hope to women that are struggling, or so much hope to those that are, dealing with this with family members. So it was this moment where we were all hugging and crying. And I remember going on Victoria's front porch and calling Erin's dad and said, "What just happened today is so major, and I can't even explain how big this song's going to be." And it was like one of those other moments when I said his daughter was going to go global. He goes, "Oh, okay, no, that sounds exciting." Well, now he sees it coming, right? So we head into COVID. The song has been written, and I'm at the doctor's office in Dallas at my oncologist, and I'm looking around all these women who were quiet in their pink robes, and that solemn feeling of not knowing what stage you're in and what's going to happen. And I text Victoria, I said, "We got to do something with this song." That's all I could think about. So I came back to Nashville. We went to Victoria's, and we decided, you know what? Let's get a hold of Susan G. Komen. So we're all Googling. Erin finds Paula, the CEO's phone number. Victoria calls Paula and leaves her a voice message and says, "Paula, I normally don't do this, but I'm going to tell you, I am a major hit songwriter. Google me. Look me up. I'm legit. I have a song for you that I think that you are going to fall in love with," which is exactly what happened. Susan G. Komen loved the song. They have partnered with the song Pink in the project. And that's how the journey began that day in COVID. The vision is to have some major artists cut the song together and perform it in a concert that we were working on. Obviously, during COVID, we couldn't do that. The first artist that signed on was Dolly. And Paula from Susan G. Komen is the one that reached out because they had worked with her prior. Dolly didn't hesitate, said yes immediately. So you can imagine that phone call. Victoria said, "Where are you and Erin?" And I said, "We're at our respective condos." And she said, "I'm pulling up." She pulls up playing Dolly music. And we're like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I have some news for y'all." Can you imagine that feeling? Here's
Wow.
Erin, age 20. No, I think she was 19 at the time. Just found out that Dolly Parton was going to sing on her song. So it started with Dolly, and then Jordan Sparks joined on. My friend goddess Monica, she was thrilled to be a part of it. Sarah Evans, Victoria got her. Rita Wilson joined on. Now we have this powerful group of artists that were so passionate about the song Pink. And they did their respective recordings, and they sent it through the internet to Victoria and to Chad Carlson. Victoria produced the song by taking all these tracks. Chad was the engineer. We went into the studio and had the Nashville Orchestra playing strings. So here we are during COVID, all masked up, geared up in a recording studio. I have goosebumps. And there's the Nashville Orchestra playing the song Pink while Victoria's at the board producing, and Erin and I are sitting there witnessing this, the most magical, beautiful, spiritual moment. The song gets finished, and we're like, now what? What do we do with this song? This is so incredible. So we got it on CMT through some friends of ours. They started playing the video because we had a music video put together. Once again, during COVID, my friend Randy Brewer and Trey Fanjoy, who does a lot of Miranda's videos, took coverage from one of Erin's videos. The artists sent in video files of them behind the mics in their respective studios, and they built the music video virtually. And that is the video that you see on YouTube. If you type in Pink/Dolly or Pink/Sarah Evans or any of the artists, you'll see the music video called Pink. Otherwise, you're going to pull up the artist Pink. But so now we have a beautiful song and a beautiful video to accompany this incredible piece of work that's helping women everywhere. And that's how I met you, as you said earlier.
Wow, that's amazing how just one thing leads to the next, to the next, and next. And I know that's exactly how we met when I first saw the song. And then I saw Erin on our local TV show and then reached out to you. And now, after that song, now you and I and a wonderful committee are having a big event coming up in Nashville with Dolly.
I know.
And now where it's taking us.
You introduced me to Tara and Josh Joseph, and you're like, I just have this feeling you need to meet them. So I went, and then she shared with me the gala. I showed her the Pink video. She's crying with Sydney, her daughter, in the office. Dolly joins through Kent Wells, and it's become this incredible event that's being built. These are things in life you cannot explain. This is why I left corporate, ladies. Whoever's out there that's going, I'm not sure if I should do this. This is what happens when you truly follow your gut and do things that you're built to do, the gifts that you've been given, right? And follow your passion. I just got so tired of the regimen of corporate, and that, you know, even though I was safe, I had a great salary, I had the car, I was safe. And that's a hard place to leave, right? I could have done that till retirement, retired well. But it just wasn't enough. I wanted to do things that make a difference in this world, and really used some creativity that the Lord has given me, and wanted to make sure that I applied it. So you are doing a lot, and I know exactly how that feels. I left 15 years ago, and the main reason I left is I didn't want to have any regrets either. And it's my first job that I can't wait for Monday, and the days just blend in. I don't even think of what day it is. And so if you don't have that dream passion and you're dreading Monday, you are completely in the wrong position. It's so true. And, you know, you're going to figure it out, because there were days I'm like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to be able to get to Nashville if I'm to have to do this? And I have to pay for this recording, and I have to make sure it always works out. When you're driven and you're passionate for something, you will find a way. You will meet people along your journey that will help connect you to where you're going. That's just how it works. And so I wake up every day, and I think, Pam, you do this as well. I see a blank slate, and I can't wait to fill it in with the connections and the people and the projects that I'm working on. and every day's different, which I really love that. Projects with purpose. That was at my New Year's Eve event. All these people are sitting around there and they're sharing their New Year's Eve resolutions. Like, I want to lose weight. I want to get married in Cabo. We're all going around, and I'm like, I want projects with purpose. And they went, what? I go, I know, but I'm just telling you, I'm dedicating the rest of my life to projects with purpose. And if it doesn't fill that, then I'm not doing it. And I'm going to learn to say no to the people and the places and the things that keep me from moving forward to where I'm supposed to be. And before you knew it, within the next hour, everyone is talking about their goals and what it kind of shifted from things that weren't really important to things that are extremely important in life. And it became a really cool New Year's Eve. It was an awkward moment for sure, but it ended up being a very inspirational evening for everybody involved.
I love that. And I'm sure you can relate with both of us having breast cancer. That also, really changes you too. And I know it completely changed me when I was diagnosed. It's almost coming up on 2 years, October of 2019. And then after that,
wow.
I never asked why me. I was always like, why not me? And my life has completely changed. I mean, I'm living in the present. I'm doing what I want to do. I say no to, things I don't want to do. And now having this event in Nashville and we would never have met if I didn't have that. I know that for sure. And so I really know God, I'm a faith person too, put us together, and it's so exciting. I can't even believe it. I just love it. And so it's so exciting. And this is only the beginning. We only met this year. So watch out, world.
Well, you made a great point. I know it sounds so generic and cookie cutter, but following your gut, right? So here's a perfect example. Had met Pam through the Zoom that she did with Erin. Then Pam came to visit Nashville, and she reached out to Erin and I and said, I'd love to get with you guys, coffee or lunch. And she had so much going on those two. I mean, it was just, unfortunately, the timing. And I was so disappointed because I just felt a connection with Pam and her heart. And I don't know how long it was after your trip, but I had a crazy busy day too. And I remember feeling, reach out to Pam. And so I did. And I said, just want to, see how your trip was and follow up. And that's where we began talking. And she said, I really want to introduce you to some people, and follow your gut. Even when the other items of your day feel like they're your precedent, push them aside and go where you feel led to do something, because there's a reason for it. So that's a perfect example. Yeah, this is just the beginning. There's so much more that we're going to do. Super exciting.
I love it. I may become a manager. I think that's I think that's a lot of fun anyways, but finding people, and I love the entertainment business. So I always ask my guests, what else is on your bucket list?
Well, I look at the projects that I have, and it, like on my bio, it says connecting people, services, and projects to launch, right? So I feel like as a connector, and Pam, you are as well, whatever comes my way, I know there's a purpose for it. And so I want to make sure that I take those, whatever it is, project, people or service, whatever it is, and then I find the place for it and watch it become something that has purpose. So there's 3 other projects that I work on. I don't have a lot of extra time, but I make sure that I follow through on those. There's a young man by the name of Anthony Daniels that has survived cancer 7 times. Okay, 7 times.
Wow.
My friend Helen is managing him and has worked with him. So she said, we want to write a book, and I need a ghostwriter. I need a publisher. Said, this sounds crazy, but I know somebody through some charity work. She comes in, the book is written, it's about to launch. And now they're going to be doing this tour around the United States. And he works with Bradley Cooper. So I'm in projects like that. I mean, helping him go on Zooms, talk, connect him to public speaking opportunities. To hear him talk about his journey, those are the kind of things that I love to do, right? So, and I've got some film projects that have purpose. So I'm just making sure whatever God sends to me, that I honor it, connect to the people, and just watch it come to life. So I just, if something happened to me tomorrow, I just want to make sure that my life had purpose, and that I can tell people, I will have no regret. I have no regrets whatsoever. because every day is a gift. And, sometimes, Pam, you mentioned about when you got sick and how life has changed. I really want to help people be able to have this feeling and live their life without having to be sick to have it. Right?
Exactly.
I don't know how else to word that, but I took the jump from corporate just like you did, because I just had that feeling getting up every day, driving an hour down to my office in Dallas traffic, and doing the thing and getting your 3 or 4% increase every year. I'm like, the song by Sugarland, there's got to be something more. Right? I love that song too. And I'd be cranking it in my car. I'm like, there's got to be something more. So that was the initial jump. And then just making sure that I live life every day with full purpose and full intention. And, whether I had breast cancer or not, just acknowledging and being grateful each and every day for everything that I have. But breast cancer did actually change everything for me, because I appreciate the smallest things in life. I don't ask for a lot, look for a lot, because life itself is plenty for me and my family. So anyway, I just hope everyone listening, that they find that strength to make the jump. They find that strength to really have purpose in each and every day, and to follow their gut and wherever they're being led with the gifts that they were given.
And that's so true. Don't wait until, you get sick or something happens, or you'll wait next year, or, because next year isn't promised and all that. So you can completely relate to that, and just go out there and do it. My 2 hashtags are find a way and never give up.
I love it. It's so true. And, we have down days. People are like, are you ever in a bad mood? I'm like, well, of course. There's days that I just kind of just go in my shell and regroup. And, that's something I'm focusing on this year, is just trying to take care of me, because I go. And I'm always, trying to help and connect and do things. And all of a sudden I'm like the Duracell bunny. All of a sudden it's dead. There's nothing else. I got nothing else to give. So I'm trying to work on that balance. So you really have to learn to take care of yourself and not feel guilty for doing that, and just making sure, because old phrase, you can't help people unless you're whole yourself. So
right, self-care is so important. I just have to tell one quick story before we leave. But
yes.
a lot of people think that you look like Trisha Yearwood. And I thought it was so funny when we were having dinner at that restaurant and somebody bought you a drink.
I get more drinks. I get more dinners. I get more free product. You can't really tell with my glasses on. It's so funny, but it's intensified living in Nashville, right? And so I finally met Garth a couple years ago, and Victoria Shaw obviously wrote The River with him. So that's how I met him. But I walked up behind him and came around the side, and he took a double take. He was talking to somebody. And afterwards he's like, I feel guilty looking at you. This is weird, but if you want to be my second wife, I'm okay with it. I'm like, I'm good with that too. And then it wasn't 2 weeks later, I met Trisha, and it was like 2 kids circling each other. We just like circled each other and looked at each other, and she's like, this is crazy. So happens all the time. All the time.
I think that's great.
Okay.
Well, appreciate you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be on the show. You're an inspiration. Anybody who's looking to live and dream their passion, get out of corporate America, watch this show, take some advice, go with your gut. Love it. Thanks again, Amy, for being on the show.
Pam, thank you so much. I love you dearly. You're such a wonderful, wonderful person. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you too. Bye.
All righty.